What's going on YouTube? Watsim here again with yet another Forza 6 tuning video, and today is probably my favourite so far. I love this car on this game. I loved it on Forza 5. Probably loved it on Forza 5 a bit more because the classes weren't so nerfed, like A class was more powerful. But on here, this is as best as I can get at the moment. I'm going to continue tuning this one because I say it is my favourite, but I do actually have 3 separate tunes to show you today. All with specific characteristics, all tuned for different kinds of tracks. So with that being said, no time to waste. This is going to be a bit of a long one. Let's get to it. Okay, so this is the first tune. This tune is called Grip, and as it might suggest, it is the grippiest. It is made for shorter tracks, high downforce, high grip. Like, you know, Prague short in particular, the Alps, Road Atlanta short, any track like that, anything like that you think this would be good round, go and give it a go. But not around more powerful versions of those tracks. Not around more powerful tracks at all. It wouldn't work well around. I mean, it'd do okay around Silverstone, but it wouldn't do great. Road America, no. Spa, not really. You know, just those kind of short, twisty, high acceleration, high downforce tracks. So engine-wise, we've got the stock engine. It's naturally aspirated. No need for a turbo on this. We've got the full aero package, so we've got adjustable on the front and adjustable on the rear. Tyres, on this particular tune, we have Sport compound. They are stock width at the front, that's 255. On the rear, they're as wide as they can be at 295. And rims, we've got, as usual, the heaviest to give us the extra PI. And we've widened them slightly. I think in both front and back, yeah. We have a racing transmission, stock clutch, I should mention. We have a race driveline. And of course a race diff. Handling wise, of course, we've got race brakes, we have full race suspension, we have anti-roll bars, both front and rear. We also have a roll cage, making this, you know, the ultimate handling car, ultimate handling version of this car, should I say, that I've done. And it's not actually had the weight taken out of it. As you can see, I've experimented with taking the weight out of it, but as you can see, it weighs 2,392 pounds. That's not heavy. That's really light, and you tickle the weight out of it, it goes down to 2,083. Yeah, that'd be better. But that, to me, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. That's lighter than a lot of the cars you're going to get on here anyway. So this is stock like this. It's perfectly fine. Engine-wise, air filter. We've got stock air filter. We have a race manifold. Stock fuel system, stock ignition, race exhaust, stock cams, stock valves, stock engine block, stock pistons, stock oil and cooling, and a stock flywheel. So not a great deal done. Not a great deal done at all. As I say, the tyres do take quite a lot of the PI. So there's not much you can do to this really, and it is, you know, with it being so light, it already has enough power to really get it around the track. And as I say, this is for those shorter, high acceleration tracks where you're not going to need the power at all anyway. So let's have a look at the numbers. Okay, sport tyres, so 27.5 front and rear. That's where the gearing is currently set at. Obviously that's fully adjustable. You can tune that to however you like it. That's where it's at me right now. I love it where it is right now. I think it's great. I get power when and however I want it, through any corner and on the straight and out the corner. It's just perfect. Camber minus 1.5 at the front, minus 1.1 at the rear. Not much toe. Avoiding that because this car's really sharp, really light, doesn't really need it. If you start putting toe on it, on the front in particular, it's gonna feel very, very twitchy and kind of. I don't like the way it felt, to be honest. I tried it. I think on one of the other tunes I may have messed around with it, but on this one it's just too much. It just felt like it was on marbles. It was weird. We've got the stock minus 0.1 at the rear, just to keep those rear tyres more steady, and casters set to 5.2. Anti-roll bars 29.62 and 23.86. Just to keep it where it is. I don't think I've moved them too much. I may have stiffened up slightly. I'm not sure really. And again with the springs, if you don't know already, I will go through the equation to get the spring rate for you. It's take the weight of the car, times it by whatever the weight bias is to the front of the vehicle, which it tells you on the stats, and then divide that by 2. So it's the weight of the car times 0. I think in this case it's 53 weight to the front, so 0.53. Divide that by 2, and that'll give you your front spring rate, and it's around there. I think I may have softened it slightly. Maybe I'm not sure. I think one of the tunes I have. I'm not sure about this one. For the rear spring rate, you take the remaining weight bias, and you do the same equation. So it's the weight of the car times 0. In this case, it'll be 47. Divide that by 2, and that will give you a number around this area. And then from that point onwards, you can adjust from that. That should just give you your base tune. We've got the ride height set 2. Oh, it's just 1 above. Interesting. I've been going 2 above recently, but this is just 1 above. Rebound stiffness 8.4 at the front, 8 at the rear. That's pretty standard, really. With this being a front weighted biased car, front bias weighted car, I'll get that ranged right in a minute. With the majority of the weight being at the front of the vehicle, there we go. You typically have more rebound stiffness on the front than you do on the rear, just because it requires more support, it requires more sensitivity, so that's why that is that way. And bump stiffness, as usual on all of my cars, is set to 2. Downforce, I've got a little bit more, so I've put it up a couple of notches. We've got 80 and 150. I mean, to be honest, I could probably take it off. I've been experimenting with that more in my tunes recently, just taking the downforce off, and it makes the car feel more lively. I'm not sure how it would feel in third-person view. See, I play the game in cockpit view, so you really notice when a car is slightly more lively on its tyres, or it has a bit more liveliness in the air or whatever, because you can kind of see it on the track. You can see the way the car, the bonnet, if you look at the bonnet and you see the way it's reacting, it's going up and down a lot. You can feel it. It's just something you can see much better in that view than you can in any of them. So my downforces always tend to be a bit more cautious, I suppose. But I have made a few tunes recently where it's not so cautious, and you'll see them in the future. Brakes, there you go, that's me. 48% to the rear and 90% pressure. Your braking distance on this from 100 mile an hour is 260.4. I find anything around that number, that's where I aim for. That's how I set my pressures. So you'll see I've got a couple of tunes coming up where it's slightly lower than this. Like I've got a couple where I'm going at 85. If you look at the effect on that, that will take it down to 247. Now that's all well and good, but I find if I did that, I'd be locking up a lot more. That's too much of an adjustment to make. You have to be too light with the brake, and when you're in a race, you can't concentrate on that too much. You've got other things to be thinking about. So, I recommend keeping it around 260 for your stopping distance from 100 miles an hour. And the diff is set to 77 acceleration and deceleration 81. I think it's pretty standard where I keep it on most of my cars. Turn on the power output. Okay, so this is called Grip, this tune. This is, like I say, for shorter, more high downforce, high acceleration tracks. So let's get to the next one. Save setup, apparently I'll change something. Okay, load setup. Next one we're going to look at is called Power. If we compare stats, that's the current one we've got, called Grip. 426 horsepower, Power's got 462 horsepower. 366 torque, 397 torque. This weighs slightly less, it's 2392. This weighs slightly more at 10 pounds more. It's not really enough to notice. But yeah, the main differences are in the actual stats of the car. So we've got 6.6 on speed, 5.8 on handling for this, and 8.5 acceleration, 5.7 braking. 6 handling on this, slightly less speed, slightly less acceleration, and slightly higher braking. So you can see it's obvious. One's a handling tune, one's a power tune. So let's have a look at the power. Install. That took a feasibly long time. Okay,
So we've got the same engine, I can assure you, same naturally aspirated, same aero, nothing's changed there. Right, what has changed is tyres. We've got street tyres on it now, hence the lack of grip. There we go, look. We've also got slightly wider at the front, we've got 265s now. And exactly the same at the rear, the widest you can possibly be. The wheels have changed. Slightly lighter wheels, slightly lighter. This is purely for PI reasons. I couldn't find any other way of better using the PI than just putting these wheels on. Maybe I could elsewhere if I looked at it again, but I just thought, okay, I'm just going to go for the wheels because I know it's going to take a lot of weight off. It will give me a little bit more in terms of control and handling. It'll be a little bit less heavy, I suppose, but that's purely the only reason. If you want to do it another way, you can. I mean, it leaves us with an extra. Where are the tyre? Where are the wheels? Here we are. It was two PI. That's what I was looking for. I mean, I could have put a clutch on. I could have perhaps lightened it slightly somewhere. I could have put maybe a drive line on if it's possible. But I just thought wheels, why not? And again, they are the same widths as before. The same rim sizing. Okay, still no clutch. Still a racing transmission. Still a race driveline. And of course, still a race diff. Again, everything here is on. I don't know what the roll cage is. Yes, the roll cage is on. And again, the weight is not taken out. So still totally stock weight. Not a thing taken out of the car at all. But everything else is on. Engine. No air filter. We do have a manifold this time. Race manifold. No fuel system. Stock ignition. Race exhaust. Stock cams. Race valves. That's new. Race engine block. That's new. Race pistons. That's new. And a race flywheel. Don't think I'd do. Oh, I have race oil and cooling as well. That's a strange one to do. As you see here, it remains 700 there, and because of the weight this thing puts in, you get more power, but you get more weight. So this is always an interesting one to do. If you're going to put race oil and cooling on, the decision to make for me is the car already good enough at handling that I can allow for a bit more power? Because if it is, then by all means put it on. But if the car's already quite heavy and you've already got quite a lot of power, I don't really see the point in putting it on. I mean, you want to go for lightness in that situation. You want to make the thing light as you can so you can handle it. In this situation, this thing weighs nothing, so why not get the extra couple of brake horsepower? Now, yeah, let's have a look at the numbers. Because of course, the numbers will be slightly different. Okay, tyres for a kickoff, 28.5. So we've gone 1 psi higher, which you have to do for street tyres. You want to aim for your tyre temperatures to be around 32 psi when they're at their warmest, when they're at their race temp. Again, the gearing has changed slightly, I believe. I'm not sure about that. I didn't really memorise the one, but I think that's slightly changed. But more power in it, it's going to change ever so slightly. Of course it is. We've got minus 1.8 at the front and minus 1.2 this time. That's slightly different. And we have a tad more toe on the rear. Again, worse tyres. They're going to need a little more stabilising because the rear of the car, the whole car in fact, is going to move around a lot more because there's not as much grip. This tune is designed for those more powerful tracks. It's really good around Silverstone. I've not tried it around Spa, but I assume it's really good around Spa. Tracks like that, proper Grand Prix tracks, proper long tracks. Maybe not Road America so much. It's not really got the power for that. But anything else, this thing will be really good. And we've got slightly more on the caster. 0.1 in fact. Slightly, I believe that's slightly firmer on the rear anti-roll bar there, maybe on the front as well. Again, with the car moving around a bit more, things just need to be tweaked slightly. I mean, this is the thing with tuning. Big changes are always going to see big results, but you're not going to learn anything from them. So fine-tuning it, just changing little bits here and there is the way to go about it. Keep going around, bang in the laps, keep just trying to find a little bit extra in certain sections. Look at what the car's doing. This is why I think first-person view is much better. So cockpit view is much better for this because you can tell if the car's leaning to one side or not. You can tell if the rear is slightly stepping out in certain situations. Third person view for me doesn't really give me that. But you know, each to their own. A lot of people play this game on third person. And again, springs set to whatever they're going to be set to. The car's slightly heavier, so the rules changed slightly. It's using the same equations as before. I'm not going to go through it again. If you need to have a look at previous videos, or rewind this video where I talked about it last time. And the ride height's exactly the same. We've now got the rebound set to 8.2 and 7.7. That's slightly less than before because the car doesn't have as much feel now. Doesn't have as much ability to grip the corners. Slightly softened it down, toned it down slightly, giving me more of a chance to give the tyres more of a chance to grip through the corners. If you keep that too high, your tyres are going to be bouncing around all the time, searching for grip. And when there's not much grip on them anyway, you're going to lose that grip. It's not going to be good. Downforce is stock, not touched it. Probably could lessen it, maybe. Could do anything with it. By all means, try it yourself. Try with the downforce. That's there for you to play with. I've left it as it is. And of course, the brakes are exactly the same as before. And that's changed slightly. Slightly less decel. Not sure why. It makes very little difference, but small changes, like I say. Small changes. Okay, that's the second tune, so that's a more powerful tune. It's called Power. Now the final tune is called S Stone. This is because this car is tuned specifically for Silverstone. It's essentially the same as the Power tune, just slightly lighter. And I have tuned the handling differently, like markedly differently. This car handles very specifically well around Silverstone. I've tried it around other tracks, and the rear end is a bit skittish. It likes to let go sometimes in places that I don't like it. So, if you're going to go around Silverstone, this is what I've called it, S Stone, obviously, use this. If you're going to go around another Grand Prix track, Spa, etc., I suggest using the Power tune. But it's entirely up to you. If this tune works for you, the Silverstone one works for you around other tracks, I'm glad. Well done. But I'm just saying, my personal preference is this one for Silverstone and the other one for every other track. But you know, try it your own, see what you like. If you find it works differently for you, then great. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me about it. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what was different for you about it, because you know I'm here to learn as well. Engine again, stock. Okay, this is all stock. So I don't need to go through all that. Aero exactly the same again. Tires are exactly the same. Street tires, same width again. Now the difference here is I have gone back to the heavy wheels. Didn't have the PI to play with this time, so I've got the heavy wheels on from the first tune and from all my other tunes really. Clutch, stock clutch, race gearbox. We have a sport driveline this time, not the race, and of course a race diff. Right, okay, we've got brakes, suspension's been done, anti-roll bars have been done. We still have the roll cage, and this time we have the first stage, the sport weight reduction, is done. This is just to give it a little bit more acceleration, make it a little bit lighter, a little bit better handling, improve the braking as well, do all those things. So it's not quite as powerful, not just slightly not as powerful. I mean, what's the PI? It's only 13 PI, but if you look at the weight, it's 143 pounds in weight. It's quite a lot. It's a person. It's a medium-sized person. Air filter. We have a race air filter this time. We did not have a race manifold. Let's say this one is tuned very differently. Stock fuel system, stock ignition, race exhaust, stock cams, stock valves. We have a sports engine block, that's a new one, and race pistons. We still have the race oil and cooling, and we have a sports flywheel. So you can see I was trying to balance the PI out with this one. When you put sports stuff on, you usually just try to find a balance between the best performance to keep within the PI range. Okay, so let's look at the numbers. Again, 28.5 psi, same street tyres. They're garbage really, but they do the job on the car. Again, slightly more towards the acceleration this time. The last one was 375. This one's set to 380. I mean, that's again, you can look at the graphs, they're all similar. They are what they are. This is what I was talking about with the toe. Camber's exactly the same as the last tune. The toe this time, if you notice, we have a slight 0.1 toe out on the front, and that's just to give the front tyres a little bit more responsiveness. As I say, this has been tuned much differently in terms of its handling compared to the other car. We've still got minus 0.2 on the rear, and the caster's set the same. Anti-roll bars, I believe that's slightly softer at the rear, and 0.2 softer at the top. Again, just little changes for different tunes, different way of handles. I mean, these are only small increments, but they make a big difference, I assure you. I've just got a new badge. That's handy, isn't it, to have a new video? Congratulations me, everybody! Congratulations me. Anyway, the spring rates. Usual calculation, said it before. If you need to go back to it, have a look at it. Previous videos, it's all there. Great. Still as high as it was. Ride height hasn't changed. Right, here's the big change. Rebound stiffness. It's much softer, and the ratio is slightly different. Much softer because it was too lively. That was my problem with Silverstone. That was the problem with the previous tune, around Silverstone in particular. This car, I tuned it mainly round Silverstone. Like the whole thing. Not just this tune, but the whole car. And I was determined to beat my time, and I did just. I can go even quicker, I just keep screwing up in certain sections, but that's besides the point. The car was too lively the way it was. I had to soften it slightly, as you see. It's not been softened much. It's gone down from like 8.2, I think that is in the front, to 7.3. Okay, it's quite a bit, but it's not a huge amount. And the rear, I can't remember what the rear was, but it was 7 point something, 7.8 maybe, 7.7. That's down to 7. Again, slightly softer, gives you a little bit more time to make decisions through corners. It's not so lively, it's not going to bite you as much. But as I say, this car, because of that front toe, is a bit more lively at the front. It will bite you around different tracks, in my experience. So just Silverstone for this one. Again, sorry, the bump set to as usual too. Not touch the aero again, absolutely stock. Brakes set to as they always are with me. As you can see, the brake is 254. I said anything around 260 is what I look for. 250 to 260, that's fine for me. And the diff is exactly the same as before. So let's just have a look at the tunes again. Now, as I say, these are the 3 tunes. We've got the power, we've got S-Stone, and grip. I advise you to try them all. As I say, I'll just review again. This one's for short downforce acceleration tracks. It's great around. If you check my Prague short times, it will show you exactly what I mean about it. It is incredible. I've gone under a minute around the reverse. Well, I think it's 59 point. I can't remember, 59.7, something like that. I can't remember exactly. And around the correct way around, I've gone. I think it's 1 minute point 1. I'm determined to get under a minute on that, but it's something like that. And again, Prague long is good. I think my Honda NSX is slightly better around Prague long, but this will win races around there. The Alps is good. I've set a couple of times around the Alps with it. It's good around the shorter Road America tracks as well. It's good around Road Atlanta short. It's just a good tune for those short acceleration, high downforce tracks. This one purely for Silverstone, in my experience, I'll say. You can try it around other tracks. I hope you do. Tell me about it. Tell me how you get on. Tell me which one you prefer out of these two. And that one, the power one, as I say, that is meant for what it says on the tin, power tracks. So Spa. Again, I wouldn't say Road America. I think Road America is too much power. The straights are too long. This wouldn't really live with. I mean, if you put my RX-7 against this, it would get eaten alive. But in general, proper Grand Prix tracks, this will do very well. And Watkins Glen, very good around Watkins Glen. So I advise that one as well. So yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If it was really informative for you, please do let me know. Please let me know how the tune gets on for you. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.